Shout out to the Rugerverse and all of my superstars. Listen, Rugerverse, I done came into some information, some pertinent information about Jake Harrow's lawyer that I couldn't contain. I couldn't keep it to myself. And who better to share it with than my family? So here I am. We have some breaking news. Rebecca and Jake Harrow went to court today, and we got a lot to unpack here. We got a ton to unpack with this court situation. Do you know that they gave Rebecca and Jake Harrow both a bond? I don't care what the amount is. The fact that they gave both of them a bond is crazy. Everybody get in here. Attention, attention, attention. Shout out to the Rugerverse and all of my superstars. We got a lot to unpack here. And guess what? I know Jake's lawyer's strategy. I know what he's going to do that he thinks is going to beat this case. I figured it out, and we're about to unpack it all here, all live. Everybody get in here. Because this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead and pull up what happened today in court. Let's go ahead and pull up this article. So we got an article here from the LA Times in which, as you see here, the LA Times states, parents of missing baby Emmanuel Haro appear in court on murder charge. That we know. And there we have the killer couple. Okay, so let's read on. Let's read on. 12 days after they said their own son had vanished from a parking lot outside a sporting goods store, the parents of baby Emmanuel Haro have been charged in his death. Emmanuel's parents, Jake Haro, 32, and Rebecca Haro, 41, were charged Tuesday afternoon in Riverside County Superior Court on one count each of murder with malice. They also were charged with making a false police report, which is a misdemeanor. Riverside County prosecutors are asking that they be held in lieu of $1 million bail. Shame on you, prosecutors. You should have been pushing for no bail. They don't deserve bail for what they did. Although it is an American right for a person to be offered a bail, it can also be denied. And the prosecution can prove that these two are a flight risk. With all the evidence that's been gathered thus far, not to mention the evidence that's coming in by the day, look at what we got today. For those of you that don't know, so Rebecca, according to her story of being knocked out at the Big Five sporting goods store, she was knocked out by an attacker from behind, in which the attacker, although he attacked her from behind, he didn't give her a swollen a knot on the back of her head or damage any of the back of her body at all. According to Rebecca's story, her black eye to the right side of her face coincides with the attacker attacking her from behind, which always from the beginning made no freaking sense. Okay? Okay. So now, as you see in the article here, via the court date that they just had today, yeah, they've been charged with making a false police report because we all know it was a hoax. It was nonsense. It didn't happen that way. We all know that, but yet and still, they still pushed for them to get a bail. I get that it's $1 million bail, but guess what? They only have to put 10% of that up. So that means they would have to come up with $100,000 each. And whether or not they can come up with it, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. They shouldn't have had one. They shouldn't be offered a bail. This is murder we're talking about. This ain't no traffic violation that we're talking about. And speaking of traffic violations, we'll get to that in just a moment. I got something very funny about that pertaining to Jake Harrow's lawyer. And for those of you that don't know, the reason I say Jake Haro's lawyer is because that's not they're not sharing the same lawyer. They're not sharing the same lawyer just because they're married. No, Vincent Hughes, Vincent S. Hughes, he speaks for Jake Haro. He's not representing Rebecca. Rebecca is currently being served by a public defender. Shows how much he loves you. Yet, here you are just 2 days ago in a jailhouse interview talking about how great of a father he is and how he would never hurt a child. You liar. How could you say that? How could you say that when we clearly see that he's currently on probation for child cruelty? And here you are sitting here talking about he had never hurt a fucking child. Are you dumb? But then you have him, in the meantime, he's taking police to some field in which we all believe that he was trying to lead police and investigators to the site of where y'all disposed of the baby. And here you are, simultaneously doing an interview talking about how great of a father he is and giving him the Father of the Year award. Let's read on. It makes no sense. So, as y'all know, they went to court today and they were offered $1 million bail. As if like what the hell? We know what they did. We know what they're facing. We know this case is nationwide, but you're offering them a bail? Authorities say the couple faked the 7-month-old's disappearance and the infant is presumed dead. The baby is presumed to be dead. And you gave them a bail. The Haros appear briefly, and when they say briefly, you know what they mean by briefly? You know how long this hearing was today? You know how long we've been waiting for this? All day? And mind you, this is Pacific time. This is Pacific time. So us on the East Coast, we've been waiting all damn day. All damn day. All damn day. For this hearing that went on at 1:30. So here we are waiting all day until 4:30. Most of us are getting off work, ready to see these people get slammed with these charges and hit with the fullest extent of the law and have to sit in jail until we're done investigating this case and we find the remains of baby Emmanuel. But no, it lasts about 5 minutes. It lasts about 5 minutes. The Haros appeared briefly, and let's underline briefly, for their arraignment about 1:30 p.m. Pacific time in a packed courtroom. And mind you, for those of you that don't know, let me tell you what was going on in this courtroom, right? So there was so much going on in this courtroom. They had to literally like threaten people to hold them in contempt of court because there were so many streamers in the building. Shout out to New Media, you heard? There were so many streamers in the building, they had to threaten to throw people in contempt of court and lock them up, detain them, whatever the case may be, because one of the streamers, and forgive me for not knowing your name, but he's very popular on TikTok and YouTube, Hispanic guy. Guess what he said? Guess what he said while while the court was proceeding? He said, "Hola." And they threatened to kick him out. They threatened to detain him and all. But for those of you that don't know, according to Rebecca's original story, which of course we know now to be a big bag of bullshit, according to Rebecca's original story, she said that the attacker ran up on her from behind, yelled "Hola" in her ear, and before she could see anything, he knocked her out and she saw all white. And she didn't see him. She wasn't able to identify him at all or whatnot. She just remembers that he said "Hola" in a man's voice. And then all of a sudden she seen white and everything just faded into black. Whatever. And then by the time she comes back to, a few seconds later, this track star is mysteriously gone, vanished into thin air with the baby. And her first thought was to run inside the store and ask anybody in the store if they seen the baby. as if the kidnapper was gonna go shopping with it. Let's continue. The Haros appear briefly for their arraignment about 1:30 p.m. in a packed courtroom. They were assigned the same public defender and said few words. Now that's interesting, I find, because there are rumors that Jake's attorney, the same attorney that represented him in the case. Shout out to Dankster in the building. We got Fresh Coast in the building. We got the legendary Innovate in the building. Undead Celebrity. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Everybody in the building, all of my superstars, Snack King Cole, salute to y'all. We're keeping up with this coverage of this case going on down in Yucaipa, California. And man, it's getting worse by the day. So, for those of you that don't know, Vincent S. Hughes, and we're about to get back to him in a minute. Don't worry, we're going to get right back to him in a minute because it's a whole lot of information that people do not know about this man and his evil tactics that he has for getting these types of criminals off. But I find it interesting that they say here they were assigned the same public defender and said few words. What? So where was Vincent? Where was Vincent? Huh, Jake? Where was Big Bad Vincent Hughes? What's his slogan? What's his slogan? If you get accused, call Hughes. That's what he says. If you get accused, call Hughes. We about to destroy you, Mr. Hughes. Okay. So here we are. So Rebecca Haro's eyes appeared red, her voice hoarse as she answered a few questions from the judge. Mind you, Rebecca, she showed more emotion here than she did when she was in the interview talking about finding her lost son. She showed more emotion here that her life is on the line and her freedom is on the line than she did when she was reporting her son being missing. Note that. Jake Haro wore a red jail jumpsuit representing the Riverside County Jail and black framed glasses. He stared ahead without turning back to the audience. Of course, because you're ashamed. Because you're exposed. We see who you are. The secret that you were keeping, you couldn't keep it anymore. We know what you've done. Don't you know Jake got 16 probation violations and they didn't send him to jail once? Anyway, let's continue. Think about that. How the hell does that happen? How many people do you know that's on probation or parole and they got 16 violations and they all reinstated his parole or probation? Every time he got reinstated. I know people that get one chance, you get one shot, you mess up, okay, we'll give you one more chance. He got 16 since 2018. You got 16. And the last one being him walking around with a weapon. He stared ahead without turning back to the audience. Both parents continued their arraignments to September 4th and did not enter a plea. Okay, so they didn't plead guilty, they didn't plead innocent, and they didn't plead no contest. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Rebecca Haro says she was attacked in a Yucaipa parking lot August 14th outside a Big Five store. This is a sporting goods store out there in California. While changing Emmanuel's diaper, or as Jake Haro would say, diaper. While changing Emmanuel's diaper. But investigators said there were inconsistencies in her initial statement, and when they confronted her about those details, they said she stopped cooperating. Exactly. She stopped cooperating. And guess who had a lot to do with her stopping her cooperation? Jake Haro. Because immediately once police saw the inconsistencies of her story, what did they do? They asked her to do a lie detector test. And what did Jake say? I'd rather do it in front of our lawyer. And what happened? Nothing. They didn't do it. The one thing that would absolve them from guilt, the one thing that would be inadmissible in a court of law, they wouldn't be able to use that. They wouldn't be able to use that to prove guilt or innocence. They wouldn't be able to use no damn lie detector test. But guess what? As far as the police investigations go and the furthering of finding your child, if you would have did that, that would have helped them get closer to whoever the fuck really did what they did. But come to find out, here we are weeks later and we're realizing more and more that you guys are the perpetrators. That's why you lawyered up immediately. That's why a day after you reported the crime initially, you lawyered up. Why people try to prove they aren't guilty when it's so easy to prove their innocence? Exactly. And in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. And right now, instead of using that by taking the lie detector test and absolving yourself of guilt so we can move on, you're using technicalities to get off. The only reason y'all even got a bond today is because we haven't found the body yet. And y'all don't have the gall to admit what you did. Authorities arrested the parents at their Cabazon home Friday. Sheriff's investigators are now focused on finding Emmanuel's remains. Over the weekend, search teams scoured an isolated field in Moreno Valley. They were accompanied by Jake Haro, but did not find anything, officials said. Because guess what? My bad, y'all. Jake led them to this open field for nothing. He led them to this open field, this valley, and had them searching all through all types of rubble, and they found nothing. Which made me believe that maybe Jake doesn't even know where the body is. I know for a fact, allegedly, it's in your history, it's in your record. You literally beat your 10-week-old child until she was blind and only has 3% ability of her brain. Till she was a vegetable. I have no doubt in my mind, and this is just my opinion, I have no doubt in my mind that you did this to this child. But, in my opinion, I do believe that you don't know where the child is. I think you didn't have much to do with that part. Maybe the dismemberment or whatever the hell y'all did evil to that child before it was disposed of like some damn trash. I do think you took part in that. But I believe it's a strong possibility you don't know where the child is. She might have told you. She might have told you something and gave you a generalized area. But as far as the exact location, and mind you, let me take y'all back. When Jake did what he did to the 10-week-old child, he still tried to blame the mother. This is his MO. Him rolling on Rebecca is not a surprise. It doesn't come as a surprise to us. That's what he does. He does these heinous crimes and then he rolls on a woman. He rolls on a woman. Shout out to the Rugerverse and all of my superstars. Hit the like button on y'all way in. This is a topic that we got to break down from beginning to end. Because I'm getting to the point on what Jake's lawyer, Vincent S. Hughes, is going to try to use as a defense. I'm going to break down his whole strategy, and we are going to be the reason why it doesn't work. That is, if he doesn't withdraw from the case once we expose his bitch ass. Okay? Once we expose him, he will withdraw from this case. because he doesn't stand a chance. Let's continue. The case has captured the fascination of true crime mystery fans, with the couple maintaining their innocence as a prior criminal case against Jake Haro has resurfaced. And when we talk about the prior case, we're talking about the child abuse case that he was originally charged for in 2018 against his 10-week-old. And when I say 10 weeks old, I mean that this child wasn't even 3 months yet. 2.5 months. He was charged in 2023. Let me retract that. He was charged in 2018 and convicted in 2023 with his previous wife. And mind you, his previous wife has a restraining order against him right now so that he can't come in contact with her or her son. Jake Haro was previously convicted of child abuse in 2023 with his previous wife. A medical report showed that his daughter was seriously injured when she was examined at a Hemet hospital in 2018, according to court records. The unidentified girl suffered head trauma and had multiple fractures and signs of past bone breaks. When they say past bone breaks, they're talking about her ribs. He broke her ribs. He disabled her ability to breathe on her own. That's who we're dealing with here. The unidentified girl suffered head trauma and had multiple fractures and signs of bone breaks, police said in an affidavit. Jake Haro was convicted of willful cruelty to a child and was on probation in that case when he was arrested last week. He was already on probation and he already violated with a weapons charge. This is something you may not have known. After Emmanuel's disappearance, Riverside County Child Protective Services, CPS, stepped in and they removed a 2-year-old child from the Haro home. He had another daughter, a 2-year-old. They took her. It's unclear what's prompted the child's removal, and a county spokesperson declined to comment, citing state confidentiality laws. As the case has moved forward, Rebecca Haro has maintained the couple's innocence and pleaded for people to look for her son. I will not give up. I will not give up on my baby, she told a reporter. Yeah, come on. Come on, son. I want to be out looking for... Come on, man. Like, this is... At this point, it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting because it's like, you really think you're outsmarting us here? You really think that we still believe you? You think we believe anything you freaking say at this point? After you done lied so many damn times? You think we believe anything you got to say? You over here talking about continue looking for my baby. And you know what you did to it. You know what you did. And you talking about keep looking for it. And then he over there talking about whoever got it, make sure you feed him. Shut the fuck up, bruh. Y'all disgust me. Talking about I will not give up. I need to go home so I can find him. Shut up. Shut up, bro. Y'all need to be worried about finding this damn... Telling these people where the hell you put the remains so that y'all could possibly escape the death sentence at this point. During the investigation, Emmanuel's parents surrendered their phones to investigators and allowed detectives to search their home. Guess what? They searched their home and they found red all over the place. All over the floorboards. They found red. What that mean? Their vehicle also was taken by investigators as part of the search for their son, according to attorney Vincent Hughes, who acted as a de facto spokesperson for the couple in the early days of the investigation. After authorities said that the couple had stopped cooperating with the investigation, Hughes said that was not the case and that the child's mother had just refused to take a part. So, lawyer Vincent Hughes or whatnot, mind you, although he's the spokesperson or seemed as though he was that way in the beginning of this case, listen, He's Jake's lawyer. He's not representing Rebecca at all. He is Jake's lawyer. And the fact that they're saying that public defender represented the both of them today, we're gonna get into that in a minute too. Because if Jake's lawyer wasn't there, it kind of coincides with a lot of the reviews I've read about this guy and how unprofessional he is and how much of a wannabe criminal defense lawyer he is and how he's looking for his big break, possibly thinking this case is going to be the one that makes his career take off. When in all actuality, Vincent Hughes has been a traffic lawyer. He's been doing DUI cases and family court, like little, small stuff. He's been helping people beat speeding tickets. And he ain't even been doing that good. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to definitely talk about it. Let's take a look. So let's look up Vincent Hughes Law. So we got Vincent Hughes out of San Bernardino County. And I mean, when you go to his website, it looks professional, you know. Of course, look at his fat ass. Look at Vincent. Look at his fat ass. Look, he got a little black guy with him or whatnot. He trying to parade the little black guy. Make it look like he just saved his life or whatever. Then he got his testimonials page, in which, come on, this is his website. You think he gonna post a bad? You think he gonna post a bad review on his website? Nah, look at this. I did not have to face any jail time. Of course you did. I felt the true dedication to his work. I am very thankful for the services he provided. He is highly recommended. I am very happy the case was dismissed. All this nonsense. But let's go to some real reviews. Look, his service is extraordinary. So you see what it says on his website, and of course what his results say and all that. But in just a moment, we're going to hear from him himself as he exposes his strategy on how he's going to win this case. Look at him. Look at him. Don't he look like one of the flounders from SpongeBob? He looked like the dude, like just put some glasses on him. Put some glasses on his face, and then that make him look like the guy that be like, there's no pickles. He looked like the guy that be like, there's still no pickles. Look at this dude. He looked like a sleaze. He looked like a sleazy attorney. You picklehead ass. Man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. You just started practicing law in 2021, man. Get out of here. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take a look into this dude, man. Let's see what's going on with him. All right, y'all want to hear? Let's go ahead and hear from Vincent. Let's go ahead and hear from Vincent himself. Let's see, Vincent S. Hughes. Let's see what he has planned on how he's gonna beat this case. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is. There he is. Vincent S. Hughes Law. Let's see what he has planned on how he's supposed to beat this case. Don't subscribe to him. Look at him. 155 subscribers. You're a corny ass lawyer. You ain't got no subs. None. You ain't got no view. Let's go ahead. Let's pay particular attention to this video right here about the Cerner motions. And what does that title say? Can somebody read that title for me? Can somebody read that out loud? Wherever you at, read that out loud.
So imagine you're facing some serious criminal charges and your defense attorney gets the case against you dismissed in just a matter of weeks. Well, that's what happened for a couple of my clients in just the last month. I've had 4 cases dismissed including 2 felony cases and 2 misdemeanor cases. Let's talk about how I got that done.
Let's talk about it, Vincent. Here he is bragging about the Cerner motions, pretty much the game plan and strategy that he's going to be using to try to get Jake off for the unaliving of a 7-month-old child. The Cerner motions. And if you know anything about a speedy trial, pay attention to what he's saying. Pay attention to a loophole, a technicality that he's planning on using to get Jake and Rebecca Haro off. But more so Jake, because if Jake decides to roll on Rebecca, which he is, of course his lawyer is going to be all for it. That's going to make the lawyer's job easier. Of course. He has to do less work if Jake decides to roll on Rebecca, which it already looks like he's in the process of doing that. But pay close attention to his strategy here. Pay close attention. He's a personal injury lawyer.
Hey, how's it going? I'm attorney Vincent Hughes, and I practice family law, criminal defense, traffic ticket defense, CPS defense, and personal injury law here in the beautiful state of California.
He said he practiced CPS defense. Meanwhile, CPS just took the 2-year-old out the home. And you're defending a dude that's accused of murdering his 7-month-old child. But let's continue. He's a fraud. Look at him. Look at this dude. Cheap ass. Look at his glasses. Those don't even look like a lawyer's glasses. Those don't look expensive.
So a lot of times clients come in.
He's a
and tell
cheapskate.
me that they're facing these criminal charges and they're extremely old. When that happens, I always tell my clients, let's go ahead and file what's known as a Cerner motion. A Cerner motion is a
Tell us all about the Cerner motion. Look at the word. Pay attention.
pre-trial motion that
Let's rewind it back some. He's about to get into his exact strategy on how he plans on beating this case. How he plans on getting some baby beaters and baby deleters off of this trial. This is how he's planning on doing it. He's planning on filing a Cerner motion. Close your fucking mouth.
happens, I always tell my clients, let's go ahead and file what's known as a Cerner motion. A Cerner motion is a pre-trial motion that essentially tells the state you've waited too long to prosecute this case, should be dismissed for lack of prosecution and a violation of my client's Sixth Amendment rights. In California, those accused of criminal charges have the right to a speedy trial. What this means is that if you're accused of a misdemeanor, you have the right to have your trial heard within 45 days of your arraignment. In felony cases, you have the right to have your trial heard within 60 days of your arraignment. If the government unreasonably delays in bringing you to trial, the court will likely dismiss the charges against you under a case called Cerner.
You see what he's saying? Y'all see what he's saying? He's planning on getting them off on a technicality via the Cerner motion. He's trying to prolong this as long as possible. That's probably what he's suggesting Jake does. He's probably suggesting Jake takes them on a wild goose chase, making them think that they're coming up on some freaking evidence or whatever, taking them to some empty ass field. And guess what? Just for the police to come up empty. And Jake done smoked a half pack of cigarettes. Pall Mall lights. He done smoked a half pack of Pall Mall lights. And they came up empty. He's getting them to prolong things and throw them further and further off his freaking tracks. So they can reach the 60 days and this freaking whale of a freaking attorney can file what he calls a Cerner motion to invoke the criminal's Sixth Amendment and get a speedy trial in which the prosecution doesn't have the time they need to put together the evidence that they need to get a full conviction. That's what he's trying to do.
What this means is that a defense attorney, pre-trial, will generally file a stern motion with the court if there's been some kind of extremely long delay in bringing you to trial on your case. A stern motion essentially argues that because there's been such a long delay, things have changed, memories have faded. The witnesses may not be easily accessible to bring to trial. Evidence may have been lost. More importantly, the defendant might not even be able to
Evidence may have been lost.
raise his own defense to the case against him. That's how I got 4 cases dismissed in the last month. So in one of the cases I just discussed, our client was never even arrested for the charges that he was facing. The case was extremely old. It was about 6 years old. And our client didn't even know that there was a warrant for his arrest until he applied for a job at a very major company. When he did the background check, they informed him that he had a felony warrant. Our client contacted me, and we later determined that he actually had 2 warrants for 2 old cases. And these cases were both over 6 years old. Well, as a good seasoned attorney, I looked at the case against our client.
A good seasoned attorney. He's been an attorney for 4 years, y'all. He's been an attorney for 4 years. Good seasoned. Shut up, bro.
Looked at the discovery and determined that the government did in fact unreasonably delay in filing formal criminal charges.
Let's go back to his website, right? Let's go back to his website. He's a good seasoned attorney. Let's look. So, one of the perks of like you hiring this dude, like yeah, you see like he's a like personal injury. This is what he specializes in: traffic cases. He specializes in personal injury, family law, juvenile dependency, like custody battles. That's what he specializes in, you know. And then also like this is a he's like a look. He offers like free consultations or whatnot. Usually the lawyers that offer the free consultations, to be honest, like usually those are like people that's trying to get a name for themselves. They're newer attorneys, which he is, and I'm not saying that you can't be knowledgeable because you're newer, but like this dude literally like he Jake is probably on one of his payment plans because that's what he does. He does like the payment plan if you don't got the full deposit, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and look at like some of the reviews of this dude. Let's look into it because he's making it seem like he's this hot shot lawyer, right? He's making it seem like he's this hot shot lawyer. He just got it all going on or whatever, right? But let's look at some of his reviews. And I want some honest reviews. I don't want to see no testimonials on your damn website that you made for yourself. I could put a whole bunch of 5-star. I got plenty websites that you can make up freaking reviews, bro. You can make up reviews. Literally, you could type them your damn self. Like, come on, son. So let's look at his Yelp reviews, okay? Okay, so let's look at Yelp. So Yelp, look, what's that? You got 24 reviews and Law Office of Vincent S. Hughes, Criminal Defense Law, Divorce and Family Law, Personal Injury. 24 reviews and 3.8 stars. I wonder why that is. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the type of attorney this dude is. Okay? So here we have some reviews that he had his family and friends leave. Okay. You know, he had his homeboys leave some reviews. But look at the 1-star ratings. Like, yeah, like, see the 5-star ratings, those are his family and friends. I don't pay too much attention to that. I expect you to have at least like 10 family and friends that are willing to give you 5-star reviews, right? Okay. But what I want you to look at, and mind you, this is one that I paid close attention to at first because Hector is the name of Jake's brother that mysteriously died in the house, the Haro House of Horrors. He mysteriously died in it, you know. So I looked at that one, but that's a 5-star review, so that's probably one of his cousins. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's look at this one. So this is from August 26th, 2025. What's today's date? Today is August 26th. Let's look at what this person that he's currently representing said. The absolute worst representation. There were hearings he didn't show up to. Didn't we just talk about how he didn't show up to Jake and Rebecca's Hero? Oh, anyway, there were hearings he didn't show up to and instead had someone unfamiliar with the case show up. He took my family law case and then told me he prefers criminal defense. Why work family law then? He said he prefers criminal defense. Probably because it pays more. You know, you can charge a lot more for criminal defense. And then also because he's trying to make a name for himself off this Haro case. He's also very unprepared and lacks confidence in the courtroom. Let's take a look. Look at this dude. Would you hire him to be a lawyer? He don't even look like he got high self-esteem. More or less, if you don't have high self-esteem in yourself or confidence in yourself, I damn sure don't want you representing me in my defense. Look at him.
Furthermore, they delayed and
Look at this dude. Hell no. Let's get back to these reviews. Yeah. He said he took my family law case and then told me he prefers criminal defense. You know why? Because guess what? While he's representing you, he's taking on this nationwide case, and although he took your money, although he took your money, guess what? He prioritized this one over yours. Like it didn't matter. He's also very unprepared and lacks confidence in the courtroom, and he'd rather keep his friend status with opposing counsel than fight for you. What? He want to keep his friend status with the opposing counsel. When he says opposing counsel, that means the prosecution. That's the opposition. I'd bet money most positive reviews are family, members, or friends. He is unethical. I said the same thing. All these positive reviews on here, I'm guaranteeing like it's his homeboys, it's his colleagues, co-workers. Look at this is somebody completely different. Attorneys like these are the real thieves in life. No wonder growing up, people always say the lawyers are the real robbers. Just like this office, a bunch of thieves that just want their money and care less about clients. Stay away from this office. These are all this month. These are cases that he accepted money and deposits for this month. Fraud. Once hired, it was a struggle to get timely responses, costing me greatly. He missed deadlines. He was unprepared. And don't all these are all different people, but don't all these comments, aren't they starting to sound alike? You know, these people don't know each other, but all these comments are sounding alike. Like this dude doesn't know what he's doing. This dude kind of just jumps in front of cameras or gets on a phone call with you to take your money. But then after he takes your money, he doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't meet deadlines. He's missing court dates. He was unprepared and woefully ineffective. Would not share opposing counsel's filings regarding my case for 5 months. For 5 months, bro? Hold on, y'all. For 5 months? What you doing for 5 months, bro, that you can't respond to a damn phone call, man? You can't respond to a phone call for 5 months? 5 months? Let's get back to it. Had to hire another attorney. He talks a great game, but is an absolute waste. His lack of experience showed during trial. Even opposing attorney had trouble getting responses from him. Do not hire this guy. Smooth talker with zero substance. The smooth talker, I don't know so much because when I watched him on News Nation originally, they was chewing him up. They was chewing him up and spitting him out. That's what made me realize this dude don't know what he's doing. I looked at that interview and I'm like, he don't know what the hell he doing. What is he doing up here? I thought it was a hoax. Where's the real lawyer at? I thought it was a game. I'm like, nah. This can't be the guy. This ain't the guy. But it was. And look at him. Look at him. Let's continue. So I mean, clearly that's the second person that had a terrible experience with this dude. Is there more? Oh, there's another one, and this dude has an email. He has an email attachment, and this one ain't from this year. This was from last year, around December. So let's look at this. Took my case and payment over a year ago. So okay. So this happened in December 31st, 2024, but he said over a year ago, so this dates back to 2023, possibly 2022. Around the time where he just was getting his foot in the game. Took my case and payment over a year ago, never filed any paperwork regarding my expungement, sent many emails and called, no replies. I had to hire another attorney to handle my expungement. Then I filed the chargeback request, American Express, and he replied with 15 pages of paperwork that he never even filed. Not sure why he would do that, but sent the email today for a full refund, or I'm contacting the bar. Next, my other attorney took care of it in the same week. Don't do business with this fraud. And here he has an attached email with Vincent Hughes, which is Jake Haro's lawyer. And he says, I'm contacting you because you owe me money. He ran down on him. See? I'm contacting you because you owe me money. I want a full refund, or I'm contacting the state bar for a full refund and to file a complaint against you. I contacted American Express for a refund and you replied with a bunch of nonsense that you never filed. I expect a full refund ASAP. Unfortunately, we didn't see an update to see if this dude got his money back. But according to some of the people that you're gonna see next, I doubt it. But let's go back to Vincent Hughes and his strategy on how he's gonna get the Haro family off of this murder case, and how he's already done it. Here he is bragging to people about how he's done it for several other people, but we know he's capping. He's capping because look, he didn't start being an attorney until 2021. And then even as of recent, look at this. Everybody's saying the same thing. He doesn't respond. After he gets your money, he don't respond. And then look, Jake and Rebecca Haro, they sitting in court, and what happened? He didn't even show up. He wasn't even there.
And not trying to bring our client to court in order to get to trial. They knew where our client was. He actually had lived in the same home for multiple years. They knew that he was available. He wasn't in custody. He wasn't dead. But in reality, the district attorney's office did nothing to pursue prosecution other than issue a warrant. So I filed some cert motions, and after an argument, the court determined.
Look at him. And then he got on this necklace. Look. He got on this necklace. He's flossing. He's flossing on the people that he's stealing money from. Look at him. He's bragging that I took your money and what? He got on a Jesus piece. Look at his Jesus piece.
That there was very little evidence that can be used against our client because the evidence had been purged, that means destroyed, by the law enforcement agency, and all that existed was the police reports. Well, long story short, a couple days before Christmas, our client got a very, very big surprise when 2 felony cases were dismissed and he was able to keep his pristine,
Cat.
perfectly clean criminal record intact. I'm hoping that our client got that job that he tried to get, but all in all, he was extremely happy because those charges were dismissed and we didn't even have to go to trial to do so. In the second set of cases that were
Yeah, he
dismissed
trying to
pursuant to
floss the
certain
Jesus
motions in the
piece.
last couple weeks, we had a misdemeanor client. He had 2 separate misdemeanor cases. Both of them were nearly 15 years old. In fact, our client just got out of federal custody. He was in the federal penitentiary for over 10 years. He contacted us because when they were releasing him from the federal prison, they let him know that he had some warrants. So we contacted our office. We went down to the court and determined that he had 2 separate cases that were filed against him back in approximately 2007. What we did is we went into court. We made oral certain motions this time. We didn't even write written motions. We made them orally to the court. And the court agreed. There was probably no evidence against our client. And so the cases were both dismissed. Our client actually owed about $1,500 in fines and fees to the court from one of those past
He got on some fake Ray-Bans.
cases. And because of the length of the delay, as well as the fact that our client had been in federal custody for 10 years, the court actually used that custody credit to just pay off the fines. Again, our client had 2 cases dismissed. So what's the moral of the story? What's the purpose in us even talking about certain emotions?
For you to cap, to get more clients. You're capping with the Jesus piece on. He capping. And that don't even look real.
Well, it's clear. If you're facing serious criminal charges, or even if you're facing not so serious criminal charges, it never hurts to pick up the phone and have a free consultation. That's what our felony client did.
Then his slogan, is, when accused, call Hughes.
He picked up the phone, he gave me a call, and I discussed with him what his options were. He went from having no knowledge that he had anyone looking for him or any pending criminal charges to feeling assured that we were going to do everything we could to fight like hell to get him the best result. We wrote some very detailed motions to the court. Over the prosecution's objection, the court granted those motions, and our client
He's a
walked away
scammer.
with no felony record. In the case of our misdemeanor client, he had been through the system, he knew about the pending charges, but that didn't matter because there was
I don't know about y'all, but if I go to meet with my attorney and I'm sitting down for a consultation, I don't want no attorney with no Jesus piece on. Look at this dude. I don't want an attorney with a Jesus piece. Look at him. Look. Then his wrinkles around the emblem, like he just pressed that on himself. Look, you don't even look professional, my dude.
unreasonable delay, the court still granted the motions and still dismissed the case against him. So never forget, when accused, call Hughes, tell a friend, tell a family member, we're here
When accused, call Hughes.
to help.
This dude is a straight scammer, and I don't believe nothing he say, but I do believe these reviews that we reading. I do believe the reviews. I don't think these people is lying. Why would they? Why would they need to lie? Like, you might got some trolls that might have came on here around the time of this case being publicized, but this back in June 24th, 2024, that ain't no damn troll. Nobody even knew who this dude was. My advice: don't hire this man. He took $300 from me and said he was confident he could get my charges dismissed since I had a clean record. Fast forward 4 months and I had to pay a $200 fine and pay for traffic school on top of the $300 I already gave him. These were my options before I hired this loader. He didn't do anything for the $300 I gave him. Stay away. And people agree with him. Look, 4 people said this was helpful. They agree with him. Because he ain't no criminal. This dude ain't no criminal defense lawyer. He's a traffic lawyer. That makes you wonder, like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do here, sir? What are you doing? Huh? With the Jesus piece. doing? Look, it looked like aluminum foil. You a fraud, bro. You you a traffic lawyer. What are you doing on this criminal case? Let's get back to these reviews. Let's get back to these reviews. Because this dude is, man, look, August 23rd, 2024. This was exactly last year. This dude said, because he's seen all the fake reviews, so he said, I'm pleased to see that others were able to get good service, even though I did not receive good service or proper help, in my opinion, while using this firm. I hope they can strive to give better service to all clients. Not only was he not prepared in court the day I asked him to go, he did not listen to me multiple times or my needs. He complained that I called too much. Even though he barely returned any of my calls and missed multiple deadlines he set. If a client is going through an experience for the first time, then it is up to the attorney to make sure that the client not only feels comfortable, but understands what's transpiring and provides a safe space for that client during the difficult experience. By communicating properly, he was affordable, and that's why Jake Haro is going with him, because he's affordable. And he got him off the first time. Because he has a knack. This dude, literally, he got his start in the game. He literally got his skin in the game off of traffic tickets and helping people beat speeding tickets. That's how he got his skin in the game. And then he tried to flip on the very people that made him who he is. And he tried to tell them, I don't really like traffic cases no more. I want to do some criminal stuff. It makes me want to take a deep dive into your past and to see what you got going on with your Jesus piece and your Ray-Bans, your May-Bans. Makes me want to see what the hell you got going on. You look what you put this dude through. You put him through all this? He said, I take this as a learning lesson. That everyone should be super specific and picky on who they choose to represent them in difficult times. I'm very so much an advocate for black-owned and minority-owned businesses, but I should have never chose this guy. And then you got his cousin and all of them, like, you know what I'm saying, they frauding. They up there frauding for him or whatever, but he can't get past the truth. You feel me? Because when you look at all the people that's leaving negative comments, like a lot of times those be the most truthful comments that you'll find. And they all the same. Like all these comments was the same. They all saying the same thing about dude. Let's get more into what happened today at court.
Arrested last week, and the bail for just did face a judge for the first time since they were arrested last week, and the bail for Rebecca and Jake Haro was set at $1 million each. Their son Emmanuel has been missing now for nearly 2 weeks, but family members say they haven't seen the baby in about a month, long before his mother reported him to be kidnapped. The update now from News Nation West Coast correspondent Nancy Lew's live in Riverside. What's the latest, Nancy?
Well, Connell, it was just an initial court hearing. It lasted less than 5 minutes. Haro in the hearing in their prison jumpsuits. This is video just in, the pool video from the arraignment. It wasn't an arraignment because it's been postponed until next week. It's been pushed to September.
Look at this chump. Look at this chump. You done did all this to all these babies, and then you got some nerve that you don't even want to look at the audience. He don't even want to look at the people that the public that's in the courtroom. He trying to keep his eyes straight and forward. He don't want to even look at none of the men, none of the women that have discussed for him his past and what he's been doing to these kids. He can't even face them. He can't even stand to face them.
4th, and that's when they will face murder charges. The charge is felony murder with malice. They are both represented by a public defender. You heard from him earlier. The pushed arraignment to September 4th because they need to gather more information from law enforcement. But in the courtroom, they sat on opposite sides. Jake in a red jumpsuit, he had glasses on. She was in a blue jumpsuit, and you can definitely see that the black eye that she has faded quite a bit. Both of them chained at the arms as well as at the ankles. They did not appear to look at each other at any point.
Where's Vincent at?
And Connell, they also both
Where your lawyer at, Jake?
misdemeanor charge of making a false police report. That, of course, linked to that initial claim 2 weeks ago now of a kidnapping at a sporting goods store. She had claimed that someone knocked her out while she was changing the baby's diaper in the parking lot of that store, and when she came to, the baby was gone. And then the sheriff's department then determining that this is a case of murder based on evidence. We have not heard much.
Look at how miserable baby Emmanuel was with these two. Look at how miserable he was. And none of the pictures, and mind you, like, this is a mom that didn't take many pictures of her baby at all. That's strange in itself. But look at how in all the pictures, like, you never see baby Emmanuel smiling. There's no light in his eyes, like Doe said. He's never smiling or nothing, like. And then, like, as you look at the pictures as his life progresses, it just looks like baby Emmanuel just becomes more and more deformed looking as time went on. It's a shame. Like, these people, especially Jake, like, knowing what he did, knowing you got restraining orders out on you, bro, from your ex-wife and your kid that she don't want you around. And you talking about you was at a football game the day before all this happened for your son Eli. Meanwhile, your ex-wife got a restraining order against you when you're not even supposed to be around him.
Much yet about that evidence. There is a news conference
He not
planned
smiling.
tomorrow with the sheriff as well.
He
as
looked
the
mad as
judge.
hell.
So we possibly could
Look
hear
at it.
more.
He looked mad as hell.
Also, is that the remains of baby Emmanuel still have not been found. So where is baby Emmanuel?
Is it usual, because on the complaint is with them together, so is it usual to split them apart to give them different attorneys, or, because I would assume they would have had the same attorney for one case judged by the DA's complaint, but you're saying that's not the case?
No, if the factual situation calls for one or more individuals than one to be charged with a crime, then they'll all be on the same criminal complaint. It's just they will all have different attorneys.
Were you consulted on that $1 million bail? And if so, how did it arrive at that determination?
The bail is set by schedule. So for now, because count one is a charge of murder, the schedule, which is a predetermined amount, is set at $1 million.
How did they seem to you? Did you talk to them together or separately?
I can't really get into that. You saw them as well as I did in court. So hopefully that satisfies a little bit of what you need to know. I have another matter on the fifth floor.
Bail amounts for what case? The $10,000 and the $35,000.
There's trailing cases out of the banning court, minor matters that Mr. Haro had. So those simply are continued behind the murder case, and then we exonerated the bail bond.
Because he was on probation.
To tell you the truth, I don't know all the details about that, but exonerate the bail
Look at this
bond,
chump.
that he's not on bail in those
Do
cases.
you expect him to show up for the felon in possession of a firearm hearing on September 2nd?
So that's information I don't know. I'll have to dig in, depending upon which individual we keep, right? But for now, the main case, the controlling case, is the case you're here on, and that's reset here in Riverside. All other cases will be on the same calendar here. It should be in
Do you know
Riverside.
why these private attorneys kind of faded away?
I don't. I can't speculate on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at him. Look at these chumps. These chumps. Look at their lawyer. Look at Jake Lawyer. Look at this dude. You can't. I don't even take this dude serious. I don't even take this dude serious, man. Look at this man. Let's see what else he got on his channel. Let's see what else he got on his channel. Bum ass channel. Look, so this is the video we just went over where he talking about criminal tips. Criminal tips using certain emotions to dismiss criminal charges. Let's see what else he got on his channel about how to cheat the system, how to get baby beaters and baby deleters off. Look, let's see. Three paths to dismissal of criminal charges. Know your diversion options. I wonder if one of the diversion options is leading investigators to an open field purposely for them to find nothing. Is that one of your tactics? This is his whole game plan? He thought that this little small channel of 155 subscribers, he thought that this little small channel wouldn't be found, but guess what? We found it. And now we looking into your past and what you do. But this is what he does. Like, he's not let's go all the way to the beginning. And he's a traffic attorney. This is what he does. So you say you get results, recap of traffic trials 2021. 3 years ago, that's when he started. That's when he first started practicing law. 3 years ago. But he tries to come on here like he's some super experienced attorney, some hot shot, like he's part of the $10 million Diddy legal team or whatever. And he's not. Look. He's a traffic attorney. He's a wannabe. He getting on this criminal case, acting like he know what's going on, and he's trying to use these tactics that he used to get people out of speeding tickets on a case of two parents that supposedly murdered their child. What do you say? What's the date on the traffic ticket? What's the date on? Like, get out of here, man. What happens if I get caught driving? Are you serious? What happens if I get caught driving 100 miles per hour in California? This is what he does. But you will have me believe that you specialize in these sort of cases. Can social media post derail your child custody case? Look at him. See what he's talking about. 3 paths to dismissal of criminal charges.
It's the Big Pig song!
So you've never been in trouble and now you find yourself facing a misdemeanor criminal charge in California? What can you do to earn a dismissal? Is it possible? I'm attorney Vincent Hughes, and I handle criminal defense matters throughout Southern California.
No, you don't.
I've had a lot of clients come in, and they're good people, and they got caught doing something very dumb or something that was a one-off situation, and they want to find out what they can do to minimize this effect on their future, how they can try to keep the criminal conviction from hitting their permanent record. Well, there are many, many different ways in the state of California that you can try to earn a dismissal. The first category we've already covered. It's called Veterans Court or Veterans Diversion. And in that program, it's only available to active duty military members or those who have...
For those of you that have just got here, this is Jake Haro's lawyer, Vincent S. Hughes, discussing one of his many tactics to get baby deleters, woman abusers, people of those types off.
Formerly served the United States Armed Services, and that program allows dismissals of many kinds of criminal charges, including some felonies if the court allows. And I have one client right now where he's on his way to dismissal after a DUI and concealed weapons charge. You have to follow certain terms and conditions, and it's a very long and drawn out process that you're going to have to do a lot, but you can ultimately end up with a dismissal through the Veterans Court under people. Really cover that too. But if you want to know more information about it, give us a call and we can definitely discuss that with you. And the third way that you can try to earn a dismissal, and the most popular way right now, with very few exceptions, is the judicial diversion.
Look, he talking about this like it's the latest like scam method. He talking about this the most popular way in 2025 right now. This is get it before it burns out. This is the most popular way.
And we can definitely discuss that with you. And the third way that you can try to earn a dismissal, and the most popular way right now, with very few exceptions, is the judicial diversion route through Penal Code Section 1001.95. So in this form of diversion, many cases are eligible that are misdemeanor level. The major exclusions off the top of my head are DUI, anything that you may have to register as a sex offender, domestic violence, or anything that involves stalking. Other than that, many other misdemeanor criminal charges are eligible, and the court actually looks at your circumstances, your history, and they really look at the motion to see what they should put together for you in order to allow you to earn a dismissal. Now, it's not a guarantee. The court takes it on a case-by-case basis, but we've been very successful at getting these misdemeanor judicial diversion motions granted. And usually what happens is the court's going to order you to take some form of classes or some further education. So it may be a gun safety class, maybe a traffic class, it may just be a life skills class. But the court's generally going to order you to complete some form of classes. You're also probably going to have to do some community service, and there may be fines associated. But usually if you can do those things and make sure you don't get in trouble within the probationary period or the diversionary period, which is usually up to about a year, then your case will likely be dismissed. So if you have questions about how we may be able to help you avoid a misdemeanor conviction, give us a call. And never forget, when accused, call Hughes. We're here to help.
An Alabama mother and daughter allegedly teamed up to kill a romantic rival. And now, one has apparently turned against the other, taking a deal.
So as you see, attorney Vincent S. Hughes, he's nothing but a scam artist. He's a clown. He wears fake jewelry. He prances around like he's this hotshot, big time lawyer, but in all actuality, he's nothing but a crook. He doesn't care about victims. He doesn't care about justice. He only cares about the almighty dollar. He doesn't care that Jake and Rebecca Haro may have unalived their 7-month-old child. That's not of his concern. That's not of his concern. When it comes to his morality, he's not concerned with that. He don't care. He knows what happens. I'm pretty sure Jake has already confided in him what happened. And of course, his job is to make sure that he invokes things like what he said, the Sixth Amendment, and tries to bring up these different technicalities and tries to get a speedy trial to rush the prosecution into gathering evidence to try to make sure that they aren't able to properly convict him. And his main focus is Jake. So be looking forward to seeing Jake Haro. I mean, we've already been calling it, predicting it, that Jake Harrow has already rolled on Rebecca. But in the coming days, in the coming weeks, don't be surprised if you see that Jake has fully came out and confessed and tried to throw everything on Rebecca. Because that's what these types of dudes do. We all know that Jake is responsible for this. We know that. We know that Jake is solely responsible for this, and that if anything, Rebecca probably just was participating in the act of covering this stuff up. And so was the grandmother. We know that. We know that. We're waiting for it to be proved, but the more we the more we converse about it, the more we continue to discuss all the subtleties that certain people might miss, especially what we broke down today. Because I'm pretty sure y'all seen a different side of Vincent S. Hughes than what you see on the news. And as Vincent said, what does he say? When accused, call Hughes. Whatever, bro. We looked at the people that called you, and it wasn't good. Look, it wasn't good. Look, Gigi called you. Attorneys like these are the real thieves in life. Look, Mark called you. Mark R. in San Bernardino, California called you. Fraud. Once hired, it was a struggle to get a timely response, costing me greatly. Do not hire this guy. Smooth talker with zero substance. I wish I could pull it up. Somebody put, I think it was on his Facebook page. Somebody put that a lot of these, and I'm going to post it on my community tab for everybody to see it, but somebody posted somewhere, and I got a screenshot of it. Somebody posted somewhere that all these 5-star reviews, the ones that's not his cousins and his sisters and uncles and all that, the fake ass 5-star reviews, somebody posted on his social media somewhere that he offers gift cards for people to leave reviews. He offers gift cards. Look at all these 1 stars. Are you kidding me? Look at this. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Well, here's the people that received the gift cards. Look, Wendy B got a gift card. Astra G, that might be his little sister. These people got the gift cards because supposedly Vincent Hughes. Let's go ahead and pull him up for those of you that aren't familiar. Vincent Hughes. This guy. This dude. This dude is a loser, man. Vincent Hughes. Look at him. Acting like he doing something. Look at this dude. This clown, man. This damn clown. Over here acting like you defending the innocent. You not defending the innocent. You a crook. You a damn crook. And I got a laundry list of people right here that you stole money from. And even up until this date, August 26th, we got somebody talking about you took their money. You stole their money to focus on this Jake Harrow case. You know you just a traffic lawyer. Look, August 24th. August 26th. This is a traffic lawyer that's over here taking people's money and then over here trying to focus on the Jake Harrow case. But then when people ask you questions pertaining to the case, you act like you don't know nothing. You don't know shit. You act like he don't know nothing. Let's see. Let's see what else we got on him. Let's go to his Facebook. Let's go to his Facebook. Check him out. Look at this dude. Like he a hot shot. Like he's some sort of hot shot or something. Look at him. Look at him. Yuck. Is defending violent women and baby beaters your specialty? Obviously it is. Obviously it is. Wow. Words cannot describe the frustration which I experienced with this attorney who was completely dismissive, pushy, and hostile during our conversation. I will terminate contract and demand. Damn. How many people ask for refunds? After you gave them this great service, how many of these people ask for damn refunds? Look, there's somebody he gave the gift card to. He gave her a gift card. Yeah, whatever. We not buying the fake reviews. No pun intended. We know what you do. Look at him. He looked like a scammer. He looked like a scammer. And that's the only reason you taking this case is because you think this case is gonna blow you up somehow, and that your cheap ass YouTube channel. Look. Look at this dude. Look at him. He think this case is gonna blow him up, and then all of a sudden he gonna be like the next he gonna be the next Matlock. He think he gonna be like Matlock. He think he gonna be like Andy Griffith. Look at him. This the same dude that we see with the fake Jesus piece. He had a fake Jesus piece on. Look at him. This is what he's planning on using to get Jake out of jail and to help him try to beat these charges. He's planning on, look, criminal law tips using the Cerner motion to dismiss criminal charges. This is the video where he was wearing the fake chain.
So imagine you're facing some serious criminal charges and your defense attorney gets the case against you dismissed in just a matter of weeks. Well, that's what happened for a couple of my clients in just the last month. I've had 4 cases dismissed, including 2 felony cases and 2 misdemeanor cases. Let's talk about how I got that done. And they tell me that they're facing these criminal charges and they're extremely old. When that happens, I always tell my clients, let's go ahead and file what's known as a Cerner motion. A Cerner motion is a pretrial motion that essentially tells the state you've waited too long.
This is the crook known as Vincent S. Hughes.
In a violation of my client.
The dude that's trying to get Jake Haro off with the unaliving of 7-month-old baby Emmanuel Haro. Shout out to the Rugerverse and all of my superstars. It is your boy Reek Ruger, and man, if y'all aren't convinced, watch the full playback. Start from the very beginning as we break this dude down, and y'all see the type of defense Jake Haro has. This isn't a legit lawyer. This is like, I don't know if y'all ever seen Empire and the shady lawyer that Lucius Lyon would use. This is like that. This is the shady lawyer. He's not no real lawyer. He's a traffic lawyer. He gets you off of speeding tickets and DUIs. This isn't a criminal defense attorney. He's a fraud. This is your boy Reek Ruger. Y'all have a great night. You heard? Peace. Dude's a fraud. You gotta